Hello, guys. Okay, so we've done translations, reflections, and today we are doing rotations. So, um, on your notes page, the definition of a rotation. A rotation turns a figure around a fixed point called the center of rotation. So if we use our example of the Earth rotating around the sun, the Earth turns around the sun is the center of rotation. For example, the center of rotation will be the origin. So, for everything in this unit, our center of rotation is going to be the origin. We still need to make sure that we explain that in our complete sentence, that it's rotating around the origin. And we'll rotate in increments of 90 degrees. So that's another thing in this unit is we're only going to focus on 90 degrees. So 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 270 degrees. And then all the way back around a full circle is 360 degrees. So two things we need to pay attention to is the direction of rotation. So if it is going around this way, this is called clockwise. You'll see I will also call it CW for short. And it's clockwise because if I was to draw a clock, it's going the correct way that a clock would go. The opposite direction, going around the other way, so again, if I draw that clock, clocks do not go from 12 to 9 to 6 to 3, so this is called counterclockwise. Or CCW. So when we want to pay attention to a rotation, we're going to say whether it's going clockwise or counterclockwise. Consider each quadrant as another 90 degrees. Now, this does confuse students sometimes the way that this diagram works, but let's just say that my shape starts here. If it moves over to the next quadrant, that's 90 degrees. If it moves over another quadrant, that's another 90 degrees. And if it moves over to the next quadrant, that's another 90 degrees. So it goes from 0 degrees is the starting place, to 90 degrees is the next quadrant, to 180 degrees is the quadrant diagonal from wherever it started. 270 degrees is next to it, but further around the circle. And then 360 is the same as 0 degrees because it's going to end up in the exact same spot. So down here in in this example, we have A to A prime. So if I'm going clockwise, if I'm going from this point to, hold on, wrong point. I'm going from, let's do this one instead, this point to this point. This is going clockwise because I'm going around the same way a clock goes. It is one quadrant over, so that would be 90 degrees clockwise. But you can also look at it as going counterclockwise if you look at it going the other way. So if I go around the other way, it went over one quadrant, two quadrants, and into the third quadrant, which is 270 degrees. Notice how the clockwise and counterclockwise arrows make a full circle. That's because 90 plus 270 gives us that 360 degrees. So going clockwise and looking at it counterclockwise together should give you that full circle. Okay, number 2, from B to B prime. If I'm going clockwise, I'm going in the direction that a clock goes. So if I look at this point, I'm going over one quadrant, two quadrants into the third quadrant. And so going over to three different quadrants is 270 degrees. If I was to just go counterclockwise, it's over just to the next quadrant over, so that is 90 degrees. Okay, C and C prime. So if I'm going clockwise, go in the direction of a clock. If I'm going from this point to this point, notice it's in the quadrant diagonal from it. So that is 180 degrees. And if I go counterclockwise, it's also 180 degrees. So if a shape has been rotated 180 degrees, it does not matter whether it went clockwise or counterclockwise, it's still going to be 180 degrees. D and D prime. So from D to D prime, if I'm going clockwise, looking around this way, it is going the long way around, so that's 270 degrees. If I'm going counterclockwise, it's just the next quadrant over, so that is 90 degrees. E to E prime, notice it's in that quadrant diagonal from it. So that is 180 degrees in both directions. It does not matter which direction you go, it's going to be 180 degrees. And this last one here, F to F prime. So going clockwise, F to F prime is just the next quadrant over, so that is 90 degrees. Going counterclockwise, from F to F prime, we go through 1, 2, 3 quadrants. It's the furthest way around, so that is 270 degrees. So if I am writing myself a nice complete sentence describing this rotation, I can use either one of these. It does not matter which one you use, as long as you're doing the correct degrees with the correct direction. So I can say figure D rotated around the origin So we always want to say the point that's around, and it's going to be the origin every time. 90 degrees counterclockwise. To form figure D prime. Okay, so that is the example there. So these notes are very, very important. The rotations have multiple things you have to pay attention to. So we are going to continue to work on this throughout class.